Look, it looks good. Right?
Yeah, it does look good. It's just, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
well, Masters of None. Tuesday, we're live, episode 246.
246. Yes, it is 246.
246, and just like that, snapping in.
Just like that.
Locking in.
Locking in, bro. And we appreciate everybody. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up. And what do we want to talk about? I want to start doing some Q&As on here.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, or maybe some, kind of put it out there to see what really, what the people find provocative.
Yeah, what they find
You know?
provocative. Yeah, they should post it in the topic suggestions within the Discord.
In the Discord, straight up. So, so what's up, brother? How was the weekend, man? Weekend was good. Happy Easter to everybody if you're
Easter.
down with that.
Yeah, and happy Passover, and any other holiday that might have been passed this weekend. But yeah, cool.
Dope. Cool. Yeah, man. It was a good weekend, man. Good weekend full of, good people, good vibes,
It's finally
family.
getting warm again.
Yeah, it is getting warm. Very warm. It was
It's-
like 70 today.
Yeah, it's getting super warm out, which is fire.
I love it.
I'm excited.
I'm hyped.
Yeah, I like the. As I'm getting older, I enjoy the warm weather more. I most certainly still don't want to be out in the sun, and I definitely do not want to go to the fucking beach. But warm weather's nice.
Yeah. Warm weather it makes everything better.
Yeah.
It makes me more patient. It makes me drive with a little more chill.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good thing. I have to go outside. I've been doing grounding.
You've been grounding?
Yep. Been going outside barefoot
Okay.
in the grass.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because Gary Brecka talked about that, and I did it for a few days, but Conor talked about it recently. Conor McGregor, he's grounded,
Yeah. Yeah.
bare feet in the grass.
I heard him talking about that. I thought that was like a reference to him doing pure cocaine as opposed to like the shit that the other people get. When he said that, I thought that was an homage to like his plug, and like he was saying like I get the rawest, foot to the ground, like straight from the source. That's the way I interpreted that.
Yeah, not stepped on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's so funny to hear Conor talk about like going into politics, because for me, he's such a fucking loose cannon. Like the idea, I'm sure he's got like a great ideas, you know what I'm saying? But I just like, you see him and you're just like, dude, you are uncontrollable. I heard you say some of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard a human say to it. He told Jose Aldo that if this was back in the day, his people would have invaded his favela and killed all that weren't worthy to serve, and then take all of their women.
Bro, he
that
said
to-
invade on horseback.
Yeah.
Yo, he was ready to roll through Viking style,
Yeah.
swinging a battle axe on the back of a big ass horse. With the horse has armor on it.
He was known for like these like viral shit talking moments. Who was it that he was talking to when they were doing the face off, and he told Dana, like Dana was like separating them, and he was like, hold on, I want to get closer to him. I want to smell his pussy. I'm like, Jesus.
Do you remember who it was he said that to?
It might have been Jose too. I don't know. I don't know if it was him or if it was Habib. I don't know who it was, but dude, he says the most.
Yeah.
He was saying the craziest thing to people. What he said to Dustin, like he was saying wild things to Dustin. He was talking about his wife, his kid. Like he's a loose cannon, dude, and he's uncontrollable.
Bro, wasn't he yelling at when he had his broken leg against
Yes,
Dustin
when
Poirier? He was sitting against the cage saying that Dustin's wife was in his DMs.
Dude,
He said, she's in me DMs. While he's laying there with a broken leg.
He did a whole season of The Ultimate Fighter and then just didn't fight the guy afterwards.
Yeah.
Dude, they got no control of this guy. This guy, anybody who knows Conor McGregor knows that I don't know if he's gonna get those guys' votes. He's gonna have to run on a different, pander to a different audience.
Yeah, I mean, all I know is that I agreed with a lot of what he was saying.
Ray's like, what did I just walk in on? I don't know what part of the conversation he came in on, but I'm sure I was saying something disgusting.
Yeah, but I don't know. A lot of what he was saying made a lot of sense. You know?
Yeah, we're talking about Conor McGregor. He's, he's talking about some of the issues that are going on in Ireland right now, and like political issues. And is he saying that he's going to run for some kind of?
He said that he wants to.
Okay.
He said he wants to run for president over there, and the only problem is he said they won't like let him in.
Yeah.
He's like they're kind of trying not to let him in, and he wants to run. He's like, if it's a true democracy, he said, let me run. If not, and they stop me from running, he said that'll let you know what's really going on over there.
Is this like their version of when Kanye wanted to run over here? Like they all know that he's crazy over there, just like we know. You think other countries, or this is how they felt when Kanye was saying he was going to run for president?
I don't think it's that crazy, to be honest with you. I don't think this is that crazy. If
Which
you
one,
see
Conor
that,
or
Conor,
Kanye?
Conor. If you look at that interview Conor did, I said this guy can get buy-in. If you look at the podcast he did with Tucker Carlson,
Yeah, he talks well.
You know?
He speaks well.
but what he's saying is like a lot of the issues that it's all the same reasons that Trump won this election. You know, it's because he was just speaking to all the people that were like, this is crazy stuff going on here. I mean, the guy got the popular vote. The majority of the American citizens voted for that guy. And it came off of this kind of stuff. He was just saying kind of what everybody's talking about at home with their friends and their family, like what's going on in the government, like what's going on. Like none of this stuff makes sense, you know, but they can't really say it publicly because Ireland is very similar to like the way the U.S. was for a while. The U.S. gotten better over the last like 6 months to a year. But prior to that, it was like you couldn't say anything. You said the wrong thing. Your job was jeopardized. Like different stuff was going on. Same kind of principles he's saying are occurring in Ireland, which if you watch any of the news from over there, it is happening. It's even worse than here.
Well, I guess in Conor's defense, crazier things have happened.
Yeah, crazier things have happened. I mean, I don't see somebody electing this guy because the campaign against him is going to be so strong. They're going to, yeah, I think that people would vote for him, you know, but it's not going to be like he is going to win. I think it's highly unlikely, but I think that if he gets a little 7% of votes or something like that, or 10% of votes, I wouldn't be that shocked.
Yeah, well, now, kind of to make a jump to our next story, they're going to be voting in a new pope because Pope Francis, unfortunately, has just passed at the age of 88.
Yeah, he just passed. Do we know what he passed from?
I think he had a stroke.
Oh, damn! It's always these freak events, you know?
Yeah, I think they just released that today.
All right, so I don't really know the process of how a pope is elected. What do they have, like bishops and stuff? Or if they have an electoral college?
There's like there's like the bishops. There's like 135 of them or something like that. And then they vote, and if they come to a vote, you know how they have like that chimney in the Vatican? I think it's in the Vatican. Where they release like the smoke, where the bell is at, like when the Pope dies, like they ring that bell.
Oh, okay. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. You ever seen Euro Trip? They make their way in there and they ring the bell, and then everybody's like, oh my God, the Pope died.
Oh shit. No.
But so they have the bell, they ring that when the Pope dies, and then they go to a vote, and if they come to a decision, then there's white smoke that comes out of the chimney, indicating that a new Pope has been selected. If they don't come to a decision, black smoke comes out of there.
Oh, so that means like a stalemate? Or they have to redo it, or there's just no Pope for a while?
I don't know how that works, right? Because what's going to happen? Someone's going to change their mind. Like, how long do they have to do a revote? Or are they just locked in there until they come to a decision? It's super interesting. I've been like reading about this since this story's running, and like apparently Pope Francis, and I didn't know this, was like a very like forward, what people would describe as like a forward thinker. He was like a very inclusive and like
he was
new
a
generation
correct
of Pope. Even like criticizing like American like a lot of American politics. Like they said he wasn't a fan of Trump and he wasn't a fan of I forgot who the woman that Philip DeFranco was talking about him. Was it him? Anyways, they were him having an issue with some female American politician. I forgot what her name was. Doesn't matter. I wonder, are they going to pick like someone like this guy? Or are they going to pick somebody old school again? Because it's like their own structure and government and like, they're their own people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would imagine that they elect, don't they? Isn't that what you're saying?
They definitely elect.
Yeah, so they're going to elect somebody, and I mean, what are they running, like campaigns in there?
They're definitely doing something. Like,
what separates them?
I don't know. You think that can they pull a woman up there?
Nah, I don't. Like, what do you mean, pull a woman?
Can they vote one in? Are they allowed to, the sisters?
No, I think it has to be a priest. I don't think it.
A popette?
Yeah, I don't think they.
But it's 2025.
I don't know if they could do like a popetress.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I think
her outfit would be crazy though.
Yeah, no,
because you have to redesign it now because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, nah. Before you know it, she'll be wearing like Vera Wang.
Yeah,
or something. You can't have that, bro.
So yeah, but they're becoming more progressive.
Yeah. I mean, I know he was the most progressive I've ever heard of.
Yeah. Super progressive.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, I'm curious. I wish they televised that like election. I wish there was what do you think's going on in there?
I think it's like, for me, in my mind, when I'm imagining they're doing this, we got 157 dudes in robes, right? Roman style. I think they're in there, robes, sandals, right? A lot of beads, like beads. People are holding beads, and frankincense. Definitely frankincense. There's going to be myrrh somewhere in there. And it all looks very like old school, you know what I'm saying? A lot of candles. But then in like the corner of the room, there's like a bunch of pizza boxes because they got to eat, right?
Yeah.
And they're in this room, and then there's like pockets of people, and like, they're just talking about who they're going to vote. And eventually they get to like this round circle, and there's just one dude in the middle, and he's just reading out the votes or something like that. And then they're coming to a decision, and then, or they don't come to a decision, and then it's like, come on. And then,
what's the criteria? That's what I want to know. Like, what makes somebody vote for someone? Is it just like, yo, that's my boy, man? He always makes sure that the Vatican is stocked with Fig Newtons. We need to have him run it.
I think different people have different priorities. Some people, maybe there's a guy who's got crazy conversion rates. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Crazy conversion rates. Maybe, every click through is a new member.
Yeah, maybe there's one guy that's bringing in a lot of people. What's hot right now? You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Are we bringing in new members, or are we accepting different groups?
Yeah.
Is that what's hot right now? What does the church need right now?
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I was thinking, all kinds of stuff. Like, this guy's like merengue is fire. Like, this guy, like his playlist when we're out here, playlist goes off.
There's definitely stuff like that. One second. There's definitely stuff like that. And I think that there's probably also, if you've like saved like an endangered species. Like if you've got a white rhino under your belt or something like that.
Yeah.
If you're doing a lot of missionary work, I'm sure that's a category too. Excuse me.
If you got to have like some kind of, I'm sure that you could probably work something out. If I had to, if I really had to assume, I think they got to have some kind of resume, right? There's got to be some kind of resume staples on there, right? Like almost like bullet points on what he's done in the past. Like how many people with leprosy has he cured? Like how many blind people has he restored to vision? How many paraplegics does he have like walking around? You know, like how many things has he fixed? How many dudes with scoliosis don't have scoliosis no more because of the Pope? You know, how many people's hearing has he restored? Like how many guys with ED has he like, you know, given them the gift of like fixing it, you know?
Yeah. That's crazy because I didn't even think about that. But that guy, if there's somebody doing that, if there's somebody doing like finger restorations, you know, bringing them back to life, like,
Yeah.
you know, that guy probably wins.
Yeah, he's got to win.
It's definitely the guy. Damn, you made me think because now it's like, who can get closest to like El Guy, JC? Who can do what they can do to be most aligned with JC?
Yeah,
Is there a carpenter in there that's also a very good fisherman?
that's it. You
know
know,
what I'm saying?
were they running low on wine and some dude just like turned whatever they had in the fridge into wine, some old raw milk
Yeah.
from down the road? Did he just tap that bottle, turn it into wine, and the party kept rocking? Mm-hmm. You really got to think.
That's interesting.
You know, that's my guess. You know, if I had to guess, the guy that's able to make the most things turn into wine is going to be the guy that's going to get the nod, bro. He
Or
has
who's
to.
got the best bread?
He has to. Yeah, who's got the best bread? You know, who put a little, you know, who snuck the sriracha in for the Eucharist wafers, you know?
Do they all have like different sets, like sections? All these bishops, like, do you overrule an area? Because maybe it's whose section is doing the best too. Maybe there's
Oh,
numbers.
That too,
These
maybe.
guys are all like general managers, and they're coming in, and they, you know, they're gonna figure out who's gonna be the next big dog on campus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They
And
said,
all-
yo, you thought you had something? You know,
Yeah.
what's his name over in Wisconsin? He just flipped 8,400 Christmas wreaths
yeah.
out the garage.
You think it's like working at Toyota, you know, like, you know, well, Jimmy over there, he averages, you know, 8,000 sales a quarter with his, in his Toyotas.
That's it.
What are you guys selling over there?
His confession numbers are through the roof, bro.
Yeah,
Everybody's
oh,
coming in
yeah.
and confessing, you know? And he keeps little notes and lets us all hear the juiciest confessions.
Yeah.
You know, he probably sends it like a kite up there, you know? Just whatever to help people tell him. Now, I swear to God, we're mature. I swear we are, bro.
Well, I feel like
swear to
this is
God.
not information that's like out there, and it's their fault that we have to speculate.
I'm curious. This is honest curiosity.
What are the qualities that make somebody Pope worthy?
I don't know.
And how do they deliberate?
I have
Is
no
there an
idea.
electoral college? Is there somehow, some way, like a bishop that has, is there seniority involved at all?
I would imagine time served, you know. Time served, miracles performed.
Miracles performed definitely goes number one. I think that we don't even. I
Yeah.
think that's the obvious.
They call that like your MP rating.
Yeah,
You know, they're like, but what's his MP?
yeah, 100%.
You know, and they're like, oh, you know, he got little Jimmy to, you know, use of his left leg again. Mm-hmm. You know, and old Charlie over there he hasn't gotten it up in,
Yeah.
you know, in 30 years.
Now his wife's pregnant with twins.
Yeah, now he's having twins on the way.
Yeah.
You know?
It's weird. They're Asian. You know, so yeah, 100%. MP is definitely like one of their, you know, attributes.
It must be. How about languages?
Oh,
Languages
yeah.
learned.
Yeah.
The LL rating.
Yeah, 100%. Because they go like around the world and they speak to like other world leaders about things that are going on. They're their own government. Like I was saying that before, but it's like the truth. Like they're like a country, you know, of people.
Yeah, they're their own area, have their own laws.
That's what I'm
Have their own-
saying. Yeah. So that you're gonna need somebody that can go around and speak to people without the need of an interpreter. You know, that direct, intimate, conversation.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody's got to go calm things down, maybe this new guy could calm things down over there with Russia and Ukraine.
Oh, maybe
they
he can.
could talk to them and have them stop, flying drones into each other.
Yeah, we need somebody to do something because clearly negotiating isn't stopping all this fighting.
Bro,
We need divine intervention.
I seen a video of a Russian soldier like injured laying down, and a drone flies over him, and the drone just drops a grenade right on him, and he grabs it and throws the grenade away.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
You think it's real?
Yeah, look, dude, a lot of these, yeah, I think it's real. It's on. There's like a whole Reddit.
Dude, send me the
subreddit.
link because I want to know real on the ground information, like
Bro,
not just
there's-
this media, because media they lie about everything.
It's not really like information. It's just video of them killing each other. Like there's
Well,
so
it's-
many video, dude. There's insane amount of videos of like the war.
No way. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see everything. Like it's like they're just dudes with GoPros on them, dude.
Damn, they're dudes with GoPros on them.
Yeah, just holding the line, dumping fucking bullets into like where you can't really see much, and then sometimes you see people like after the fact. There's a video of two guys like fighting to the death.
No way. It's just like the two, like POV, like them fighting each other.
No, I think it's not POV. That would have been crazy.
Bro, if they're wearing GoPros, it's like
Yeah.
bro, that shit. Well, no, that'd probably be a terrible. You probably wouldn't see much. It's like seeing these cop foot chase videos.
Yeah, body cam footage.
You know?
But yeah, dude, it's a war in modern times. So
Damn.
there's a bunch of video.
Damn. I kind of stayed away from it because I don't really, I didn't intentionally venture to see what's going on, but there's just so much propaganda on both sides
You never
being spit
know.
out that I'm just like, they'll have you think there's really no war going on at all.
Yeah.
That it's like, it's not really that bad. Sometimes you got to see that kind of crazy shit, man.
You know what's crazy to me is that it's like that over here too, even when it comes to like anything, especially right now where politics are so heavy in the news right now. They'll just, depending on who you watch, it's going to completely change the information you have, and it could be not true at all.
Yeah. That's the problem is nobody is beholden to the truth.
Yeah.
Like nobody's really committed to bringing honesty. So when nobody's committed to bringing honesty, they're only committed to bring what makes you look, and they're not held to a standard. Then you have to kind of go and find the information out yourself. And with the miracle of today with cameras and social media and stuff like that, and platforms people can upload to, there's a lot more opportunity to see what's truly going on from these first person accounts.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like, well, you look at that and you're like, well, at least like those people seem to be more honest about what they're saying. Even with all that, like people are still just watching the whatever news program that they watch, and they believe what these guys put on.
Yeah, and you got to have kind of the foresight to look at multiple resources or multiple sources. You got to look at both sides because they're both very good at it. If you
100%.
only watch certain news networks, you will only believe what they say. They're good at it. Trust me. It's not people's fault that they get sucked into believing what's on that thing because it's so compelling. The way they do it, it's so professionally done and just high quality content.
Yeah, and you
know?
it makes you think that what they're giving you has to be the truth. These are news networks that have been up for our lifetime.
Yeah.
That existed before we existed. People have a certain amount of trust in these networks.
It's like a brand name thing,
Yeah.
So I don't blame them, but you got to try to step outside of the forest and see the trees and just look at different sources. So that's what I say.
I don't know. We could move on.
What do you got for me? You got something interesting for me?
Did you see Trump proposing the $5,000 baby bonus?
No. First of all, what's the baby bonus?
If you have a baby, you get a check $5,000. It's to reduce the I guess there's less people being born here.
Oh, so it's like
The population rate. It's to boost the population rate or fight against the deficit.
yeah. Right now, we're not making enough children to replace our population.
Yeah, so he's thinking about doing some kind of incentive.
Okay, so he wants to incentivize it. Just
Yeah, this is a dangerous game, right? Because I don't know if you're going to get the right people.
Yeah, you might not get the right people. Exactly.
You know, you might just get somebody who's looking for $5,000.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost you more to foster that kid, you know?
Yeah, they got but there's a retention fee.
Oh, okay. Oh, you don't get the $5,000 up front.
Yeah, you can't get the $5,000 up front. You got to keep them alive. You got to keep them well.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have some
You got to get a
records.
high school diploma.
He's got to get something. He's got to get a kindergarten diploma.
Yeah.
All right, that's step one.
Yeah.
You know, and then otherwise you got to pay it back with interest.
Ooh.
Yeah, none of this is true, but I think it sounds good.
It does sound good. You know what? I wasn't for this because I didn't think $5,000 was enough.
Yeah, no, $5,000 is not even close to it.
$5,000?
No, there you go. You got diapers for that kid till he's 1.
Yeah, $5,000
Cool.
is not enough
No.
to make and have to watch and be responsible for a human.
Yeah, I might have to ask you this right now live.
Okay.
What is it like having kids, having children? Like, what is that like? How did your life change exorbitantly? Crazy different life? Because they make it seem so impossible, like you lose who you are. You're not the same person. You can't do anything you used to do. Like, so I'm curious if people feel that way or if that's just, you know, kind of people trying to rain on the parade of other people that want to have kids.
Yeah, the truth is having kids is terrible, right? But once you have them, you have to take care of them, and you really like them, you know what I'm saying? And you want them to be like, you want the good things for them. The thing about like people's lives changing, I think that it's gradual. So sometimes you realize it like after the fact. When you get them, like when you first have them, like your life isn't that much different. But as they grow up, they become like more like dependent, and you become like their like slave. Like you have to do like like if they have to go somewhere, you have to take them there. And if they have to do something, it's your responsibility to make sure they get it done. And it's like, it's not that, like, I'll give you an example. I got to make sure my kid brushes her teeth every morning and every night, right? Like she's not just going to do that. Like, it's like, and that's you have to do that. Like, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like, that's just one thing. So like your life changing and then you being like, you know, yeah, but I guess people, it's rewarding, you know?
So it's like having like a bad employee,
Yeah.
like for years and years, and one that you just have to follow up on and be like, did you do that thing? Did you do that thing I asked you to do? Like, it's, you know, just every day.
Yeah, but there's better things than like, I guess there's a certain aspect of it that is like that, but there's another aspect of it that's really rewarding. Like, I think that the good outweighs the bad, as long as like you're willing to make that sacrifice. It's not forever. It's, you know, that's why it's important that you enjoy it while it's here, because your kid's gonna grow up one day and they're not gonna need you, and they're not gonna need you to tell them to brush their teeth. They're just gonna be their own human, their own adult. So, you know,
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I just thought of that, so I had to ask, because I see a lot of people on, you know, just a lot of people online and stuff like that.
I think it's cool. I think it's I know I said it was terrible, which is that's obviously a joke, but I think it's cool. It's like super interesting to watch like somebody develop, like watch a human. Dude, you think like, you ever seen like the videos of plants growing? That shit's cool, but dude, watching a fucking human develop is crazy, because they have like their own opinions and they have like their own like thoughts, and you know, they you know, you talk to them and like they make it, like they make their own decisions, and like they're gonna be who they are. Like, there's only so much things you can change about like somebody, you know. They're gonna be like little versions of you, and then like they'll be like a little bit different, and like you might want them to be a certain way, and like there's nothing you could do to like force them to be like, they're gonna be, you can mold them somewhat, but they're pretty much gonna be like what they're gonna be. Like, if your kid is hyper, like, you know, there's not enough you could punch them in the head to make them slow down, you know. Like, there's just not enough. Like, and I think that's why they don't let you hit kids anymore, because I think people realize that now. They're like, we've been hitting them for so long and it still doesn't change anything, so maybe let's not hit them for a little bit, you know, and see how this goes.
Yeah. All right.
You know?
Yeah, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people needed to get hit and didn't.
Well, I'm pro striking your children. I'm just saying you're not allowed to anymore.
Yeah, not
And
the way you used to.
Yeah, and I think it's because of people's poor success rates. But I think that could be attributed to their lack of following through with their strikes. I think you really got to follow through with the strike and strike swiftly and sternly, very hard. You know what I'm saying?
Strike through the target.
Through the target, and then that way you don't have to strike often. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really, strike through your target, it leaves an everlasting impression.
Yeah. And a life sentence.
Yeah. Yeah, in a life sentence, yeah. Nah, I don't know.
That's interesting. But I had something that I just wanted to bring up to you that I don't know why this is a thing. I mean, you're much deeper in tech than I am, but are you not sick of products not coming with the cube, like the plug that goes into the wall?
What is that?
What
Is that like
is
a
that?
recycling effort? Is that why like everybody's forced to use Type C? Is that like, do they want less power bricks? I will say that in my house, like there's no lack of power bricks. Like I haven't had one in a phone in the past couple of years, and they're everywhere in my house. I still have like a million of them.
Yeah, but I feel like why do they get to rely on the fact that, depend on you having one at home from another device already?
Yeah.
It's like, what if this is my first device ever that needs to be charged with a cable like this?
Also, it's like the fast charging shit. Like when that first came out, it was like, damn, I don't have a fast charger.
Yeah.
I only got basic chargers. Give me one of the fast ones.
Yeah.
So
For
yeah, I do think that you should get it. You should get that. Should be like the accessories. I think you should still get the plug-in headphones. Remember that? Remember you used to get headphones with your cell phone?
Yeah. Cell phones don't even have audio jacks anymore.
They don't.
They don't have them. Yours doesn't have one on it.
Doesn't.
No.
No headphone jack.
Yeah. No headphone jack, bro. So it's all Bluetooth now. You have to use Bluetooth or you just can't use headphones on a lot of devices.
You know what? I think that we just accept these things because when it first happened, there was like a little bit of uproar, but now nobody talks about it. iPhones were the first one to do it.
To what? Eliminate the headphone jack?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. What I really don't like is that they don't include the plug.
The plug thing is annoying.
That
the
shit is
headphone jack
crazy.
thing is because I think they'll make the phones thinner and thinner now.
Yeah. But my issue with them not including the plug is now you get double Type-C cables, like both ends. Now that is not the same power brick as other ones, because most power bricks before this Type-C became so common was USB bricks.
Yeah.
So now you get a cable with two Type-Cs. I only have one Type-C because I'm an Apple dude. So I came from Apple for a long time. So Type-C is the last 2 years maybe.
Bro, you should have heard me on the phone with my dad the other day trying to ask him what kind of power brick he had because he wants me to order him a new cell phone charger. And I'm like, he's like, yo, you should know what kind of charger I need. I'm like, you don't get it, dude. What is the one you plug into the wall? What goes into there? Is it the skinny one or is it the square one? And he's like, it's the same one. They're all the same. And I'm like, they're not the same anymore. Third one do you have? He goes, I got the one that they all have, bro. You should know. You know technology. You know which one I got. Yes, you should know by now. And I'm just like, dude, you don't get it.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, didn't you hear me the other day, bro?
Yeah.
I was here explaining the concept of changing the input from HDMI 1 to HDMI 2 to my mom on the phone.
Yeah.
Bro, HDMI 1. She's like, no puedo ver la televisión. No hay nada. I'm like, ma. She's like, por favor. I'm like, ma. She says, I can't see anything on here. There's nothing on the TV.
Was she trying to watch a VHS? What was she changing the input for?
Bro, she was trying to watch Casa de lo Famoso.
What is
that show on the Spanish channel? Bro, it's like a Big Brother with all has-been celebrities.
Oh, okay. It's
Yo,
a reality television.
Bro, they love that shit. They love that shit. So I'm telling her, I'm trying to tell her to find the input button. And now on this TV, for some reason, the remote that came with it, there's no input button. The button looks like an RC cable, like a picture of an RC cable on the button.
Okay.
Like a little drawing
Yeah.
of it. So I'm trying to explain to her how that plug looks.
Ooh.
The button. She finds it and says she finds it, hits the button, and then I have to, all the in the middle explanations, like you have to go to it and hit OK. Like you have to hit the arrows until the thing moves. It was, it was a lot, dude.
Yeah.
A lot.
It's tough trying to explain things to people, like, that, because it's like they're not, like, my dad doesn't get it at all. It's like you got to start from scratch. It's like, yeah,
And it's not their fault, because I feel that way sometimes with certain technology that, or like apps that I don't use.
Yeah.
Like an app I don't use, like I don't understand stuff like Snapchat or,
Yeah, neither do I. I don't even have Snapchat.
Yeah, me neither. Like I don't get it. If I had to use that, like, bro, what? Or Excel blows my mind sometimes. Like the things that are possible in Excel.
Excel's like limitless.
Dude, it's crazy the stuff that's possible to do in Excel. And I just feel like I will never, ever, ever know it unless I wrote the program.
You never know at all. It's like so deep. Excel.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's deep. So
I want to
what do you got for me?
we're not there yet. I just looked at my wrist as if there was a watch on it.
Nah, bro, we got time, bro.
We got time, but I want to talk about Shannon Sharpe.
Oh, let's talk about Shannon Sharpe. Let's talk about Shannon Sharpe.
Shannon Sharpe's being accused of sexual assault.
Is it a strong allegation? Like it seems like they're moving forward with stuff?
I don't think I think he's being sued. I don't think he's going to jail. I think somebody wants money from him.
Yo, they always want money, bro.
I don't think it's like
They
the
never
cops.
want
It's
no
like his
charges.
accuser. It's like this woman. There's a tape of it's so funny because we were talking about, like, news people, and the headlines read like, oh, tape of Shannon Sharpe saying he's going to choke this woman released. And like, if you listen to it, like, he doesn't mean, like, he's like talking, she like says something to him, and yes, he says the words like, I'm gonna choke you when I see you, next time I see you, but he's like being sarcastic. It's like he's saying it like in jest. He's not saying like he's gonna literally choke her. But like every headline today is, they're like, phone recording leaks of Shannon Sharpe saying he's gonna choke this woman. And it's like, I'm
So
not
it
saying
doesn't
he didn't
sound
do it.
threatening.
I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm just saying that, that in terms of like this specific conversation and him saying he's gonna choke her, it's just like, I don't know. Everybody's so quick to, like, shit on this dude, and for a juicy fucking conversation. It's like so obvious to me. It's like, that's not what he's saying.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by the idea of, or not intrigued. I'm curious about what makes these women record these conversations. You know what I'm saying? Like, what told you to hit record? You know what I'm saying? Like, what were you, because I listened to part of it, and it sounds like she's kind of antagonizing him a little bit. She's like kind of trying to bait him, like the way that it sounded, like her voice was, I was like, you just sound, I don't know. It's weird to me. Part of it.
And they're obviously like in an argument at this point, and it's like, it sounds like they're just kind of fed up with each other. It's like,
It's a tough situation either way, but just like, if people could just reserve the judgment until you see what plays out, you know what I
there's
mean?
no context.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know.
And everybody that's reporting it, of course, is reporting it with a spicy headline because they want clicks. They want people to watch it. They want people to talk about it, just like we're fucking talking about it. So we're guilty ourselves of falling into the trap. But
yeah, but we're not like sensationalizing it as if like we truly believe that he was threatening to choke this woman. It's I also read that they offered this girl, and I don't know if this is true or not, they offered this girl $10 million. $10
million to settle?
Yeah.
$10 million?
Yeah, before like everything went public. I guess when her lawyers approached their lawyers, I guess they try to sell out.
But it's so hard to really take that as because I know people, when they settle, people try to take that as an admission of guilt, right?
No,
They're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay, that's what a lot of times it's kind of perceived as. Like, why would you settle if it wasn't? You know what a headache this is, and how much this would be to go through. It reminds me of kind of, you know, have you ever known anybody that's gotten in a car accident that wasn't their fault, but they didn't pursue litigation with the people? They didn't sue. You know, some people sue, some people don't. And I think it just comes down to the headache, how annoying of a process it is, how, you know, so they don't do it a lot of times.
Not only that, but it's also probably going to cost him millions in lawyer fees.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just cheaper to just pay them than to pay the attorneys.
Yeah, it might cost him $10 million to fight it. So why not just hand her the $10 million and avoid the whole problem?
Yeah,
Avoid the whole stress.
Yeah, because, you know, look what he's going through right now. He's getting dragged through the media. Whenever these cases go out, these dudes, they don't often recover from these accusations. You know, we talked about Conor McGregor earlier. He's a prime example. One of the biggest reasons why people don't believe that he'll be successful in politics is because his recent allegations that he was, sexually assaulting women as well.
Yeah. And it's sad too for the people that these things have really affected, for the women that are really victims, because when people make stuff up chasing a celebrity and trying to sue them for money and stuff, I think it discredits the rightful claims that those women have to what they experience. That's the worst part to me, because when you just come after somebody for money, I know a lot of times there's a statute of limitations on charges like criminal charges, but when they just wait, don't say anything, and then jump out and want $10 million, you know, I don't know. It just is like a red flag to me in a way.
Is that like the fee? Like, is this going to make it all better? Like, is that the, and I don't think that that's their goal either, that this makes it better. I don't know. I don't think I guess money is nice, but I think it taints it a little bit, because now it's like, did this really happen? Or is this like a money grab? Like, what's going on here?
Like that major league pitcher.
Who?
Do you remember that story? That was like in the last like couple years, like that major league pitcher that got accused by a girl of assaulting him assaulting her. He's a major league pitcher, big time pitcher, big money contract, and just the allegation alone, he beat it. He beat it because it was nonsense. Like, he had the text messages from them. They subpoenaed the girl's phone and had the conversation of the girl and her friend that were talking about setting him up.
Oh.
And all this stuff.
Stupid.
Yeah. And he never got back into major leagues, bro.
What?
Never got back in, bro. Never got back in.
Remember
And all off of a false accusation that was exposed to have been intentional.
That's crazy.
And he lost like his entire career.
How many people are, sitting up right now because of these false accusations?
Dude, it's crazy. To me, I think when false accusations are exposed or discovered, I think that the amount of time that the person that was accused would have gotten if found guilty for that crime, the false accuser needs to serve that time. That's what I think. So let's say they falsely accuse someone of let's say SA, right? And let's say that the minimum sentence for that is 5 years. The person found to have made a false accusation. Of course, the false accusation has to be proven with beyond a what is it?
Reasonable doubt.
Beyond a reasonable doubt that that they are indeed making it up. So once that's proven, they serve the 5 years that person would have had to serve if found guilty.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that that's very fair. I think, and it goes for everyone.
Yeah.
It goes for everyone.
Don't be saying I'm doing something that I'm not.
Yeah, don't do that, because that's just crazy to me. It goes, it's just wrong. Because if you're just allowed to make up things about people, like, that's a never ending, talk about a slippery slope.
Dude, I watched a video. I was watching Cops the other day, or whatever version, like the YouTube version. And there was this woman who, her husband was found dead in her yard. and she like goes to the cops go to see her best friend, and she's like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. She showed up at my house like at 3 a.m, and she was like quick, like punch me in the face. And she was like, what? She goes, yeah, I need to make it seem like, I was in a fight, like punch me in the face. She's like, I'm not getting involved in this. Like this lady like killed her husband.
Whoa.
And she's like saying like, oh, I don't know nothing about this. It's like, like, oh, she was trying to frame it up so that it looked like he was beating on her.
And she took him out in self-defense.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Like obviously he's dead, but she was going to accuse him of like, hurting her and her having to, to protect herself.
How'd she take him out?
I think he was shot in the neck.
Damn. That's brutal. Sometimes on that stuff, man, those long crime shows.
Yeah, dude.
Bro, I watched one recently of these 3 young boys, 12, 16, and 17, that just in cold blood killed these 3 other young people. 16, 17, that's how old these people are. 2 girls and one of the girls' boyfriend, because they wanted to rob the guy for like $1,000 or something like that. They killed them all.
Killed him.
Shot him. Bro, they were hanging out together. They knew each other. And the girl and her boyfriend picked them up, all 3 of them. And while she's driving, they just pop them both in the head.
That's crazy.
And then there's another one in the trunk. The girl.
They kill her too?
Another girl. Dude, the 12-year-old kid drops the seat in the back from the back seat, pops her twice. Bro, animals, bro. Animals. And you had to see them both. They were all telling on each other. All telling on each other.
Yeah.
The 12-year-old kid said, them 2 popped everybody.
Yeah.
One of the other kids said, the 12-year-old and the 16-year-old dude popped everybody. The 16-year-old said the 12-year-old and the 17-year-old popped everybody.
Yeah.
That's what they said. Just everybody just lying. And then it turns out each one of them pop one.
So that's insane.
It's insane. They all confessed.
So what happens now? These kids go to jail. They don't go to jail for life, right? They go to jail until they're adults. Like what happens?
I think they should bound their arms and feet and tie bricks to their legs and drop them in the Atlantic. That's what I think they should do. Drop them in the ocean. Drop them in the ocean tied to cinder blocks. Hands tied, legs tied, tie them to a cinder block, tie them to 3 cinder blocks, and drop them in the water like pirates, bro.
Like their wishes?
Dude, straight up like their wishes, bro.
Like their witches?
Like their witches, rather.
Yeah, I don't know,
100%,
because if you look at like we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, those guys in California, the ones who killed Pop Smoke, like they're out of jail.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So what happens when these minors commit these like atrocious crimes?
I don't know. It seems like a lot of times they're tried differently. I don't really know. I do not know, but I think there's, if you commit an adult crime, and we know what adult crimes are, like more brutal crimes. I mean, if you steal a candy bar, I don't think you should be charged as an adult.
Yeah.
But if you're committing homicide or real, violent felonies, SA, armed robbery, stuff like that, like you think you grown? You think you grown? You're going to be out here and do this stuff like you're grown? Maybe you need to be charged like you're grown.
Yeah,
Maybe you need,
sit down forever.
Yeah. But to hear these kids, and 2 of them had to confess in front of their moms in the interrogation room.
You know what that is for a parent to know that your kid is about to be in jail for the rest of their existence?
Bro, and it's crazy too, because both of the mothers, the other one that was the craziest one, they were both terrified of the 17-year-old kid. Bro, he must have had so many bodies, bro.
Oh.
They were both terrified of him. Both of them were telling a story like, he made us do it. Like, yo, this kid was like, yo, he had just gotten caught. He was on the run till this thing happened. They ended up catching up with him. He had cut his ankle monitor off and was on the run. Like, they said, this dude is crazy. He said, if you don't do what he says, he'll just take you out. He said he'd have popped me like he popped her. He's like, that's just the kind of person that he is. He's like, everybody know. He was like, everybody know. Everybody know you don't play with him. When he tell you to do something, you better do it. He's like, everybody knows.
Dude,
It was like,
Florida's a crazy place.
dude, it was nuts. So then he was like, his mom was like, you stop protecting these kids. You protecting these other people. You're about to go to jail for the rest of your life. She's like, tell him, I know you didn't do it. I know you didn't do it. So he starts saying this all them. As soon as they take his mom out, he's like, I did it.
Damn.
You know, he's like, yeah, I only hit her once. I only popped her once. I'm like, oh my goodness. You know? But yeah, so that was his mom, and then the other kid's mom saying the same thing, knowing she's like, I know you didn't do it, but just say who did, because you can't be protecting these people. Meanwhile, he did it too. So it was like each one of them had something to do with with all three people meeting their demise. It's terrible. But that law and crime stuff is really something else. You know, that law and crime stuff, it's like constant. You know, it's like there's always a crazier case. Always a crazier case. Always a crazier case. You know, it's like it's, I don't know. It's just crazy to see these kids confess in front of their mothers. You know, when
That's
each
terrible.
mother thought her kid didn't do it and thought the other two did it and he was trying to protect them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're
all
had
involved.
a body. Each one
And
of
like
them.
I said, your parents sitting there, they know the second that you admit it that it's over for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and
They also come to the realization, you know, it's like, damn, their kid's a murderer. And you pretty much failed as a parent.
yeah. Yeah. It felt bad too, not a dad in sight. I was like, damn,
It's sad.
really, man. But there was something else that I wanted to
What you got?
bring up real quick. I
That's
thought
what
there
I'm looking
was.
forward to.
Let me check. Oh, did we talk about this last time? Did we talk about this Pokemon obsession that people have now?
Yeah,
Did we talk about that? People buying out the whole vending machine before anybody even gets to the store?
Well, with collectibles, that's like a thing. Like people will do that with like the Funko Pops. They'll go to the store and they just like buy like go there and wait in line in the beginning and just buy as many as they can. And that's why they have like limits and stuff like that. But yeah, we talked about it 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
Okay.
I was saying about the people running into Costco. It's just it's the same reason why sneaker game has been ruined. It's just people trying to make money.
Yeah, but see, the thing with the sneaker game, at least, you get there and usually there's a limit. They don't let you buy out the whole thing. They let you like 2 pairs per person or something like that. When they go to these Pokemon vending machines, they just clear the whole machine out. They just hit every single one till it says sold out. Every single one, and then they just pay for it and it dumps out.
Yeah, so that's because it's like they needed people to get, but before there was limits, people were getting trampled for Jordans. And then there's like limits. So like they need to fix the people now. Recently people were like, trampled in Costco's for the Pokemon cards. Now Costco has a limit. You can only buy 2. So, something will happen with this. Somebody gets shot or punched in the mouth in front of one of these vending machines, and then they'll make it so that they'll figure out a way to circumvent that from happening. As of right now, there's no representation there, so there's nothing to stop somebody from going to these vending machines and just, like you said, buying everything there. But something will happen to somebody, and it will force them to, take action.
Yeah, because the people I see doing it are very, very robbable.
Yeah.
the people that I see buying out the whole thing, dude, they are like all the way, Smith Haven Mall, in the food court, Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
They're not gangbanging.
No, they're definitely not gang
They're
banging,
not-
but these dudes will die by their packs.
Bro, but I'll tell you what, man. Nobody's saying anything, which I don't get. People are just like,
yeah, because they're fucking children of the internet. You know what's crazy?
I guess everybody else showing up there is also,
Yeah.
wait till this spreads. Wait till people see the real money in this. Forget it, bro.
That's the thing. It's a gamble because you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So like you could just open all these packs and not get dick. You might not make your money back.
But what happens if you do?
You'll be rich.
I mean, it's better than NFTs.
It's safer. For sure, for sure. Should we buy? Should we invest?
Yo, please. That's why I started watching that crap. Because I was like, damn, am I missing the Pokemon, like the Pokemon gravy train right now? Should I be getting in on this? I'm like, listen, man, I could show up at these places. I could show up. I could put this all on, you know.
Oh, you're not ready to put in the work that it takes, though.
No,
No disrespect, but
I'm not.
dude, that's these guys like full-time jobs. Like these guys are going to every Target, you know, on the, like, people, like, if you even, like, I remember talking to Ray when Ray was on his Pop Shit Heavy, like, he would go to, like, you know, he would go to get to somewhere 2 hours before they open and just sit outside the door. And, like, he's like, you know, there's somebody already there when he's there, or there's a whole line of people there, you know?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's got to be, I didn't even have the nerve, like, or the desire to do that for when Black Friday was a real thing.
I'd done it for video games, like midnight release.
I did it to meet the Ultimate Warrior when I was a kid.
Macho Man Randy Savage? I mean, the not Macho Man Randy Savage. The wrestler?
Yeah, the wrestler.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. I wanted to meet him so bad. Got a poster signed by him and shit.
That's super
like,
cool.
Yeah, like that's the only time I've ever really done it.
Some people like it. I've never been like a huge fan of it. It's cool, but I always realized like I would get home and I wouldn't really even get to play that much. And I'd be like, all right, it's like fucking. By the time I get home, it's 12:45, 1 a.m.
Yeah.
But what do I get? Like an hour before I'm falling asleep, and then it's like, oh, I gotta wake up in the morning and play. So like, and that's when people started pre-ordering. And
Okay.
like you would just go first thing in the morning, and
Fair.
you could do, if you wanted to do midnight release, you could show up with your pre-order, or you get it the next morning. I was a morning guy.
Yeah. But there's a finite amount, right? If you don't get there, sometimes
That's
they
why
sell
you
out.
pre-order.
Oh, okay. So you pre-order. Got
Yeah,
it.
the same thing. They did midnight releases. I'm sure somebody got stabbed outside of one of these GameStops, and what they do now, pre-order only.
Yeah.
If you don't got a pre-order, then don't come to the midnight release. You know,
Got it.
that kind of thing. So it's not like, you know, somebody will get stabbed at one of these vending machines, and they'll fix it.
Yeah. Well, until then, these kids
Until
are.
then, kids, count your blessings and, you know, wear something. Wear one of those stab-proof vests or something like that.
Yeah. Little chainmail.
Yeah, there you go. Wear chainmail.
Yeah. But yeah, I think with that, man, we could just be careful at your local store if you're getting Pokemon cards. It's getting hairy out there. You know, but Mass and Dumb Podcast episode 246.
246.
246. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Check us out on all audio podcast listening platforms. And shout out to all our new subscribers and all of our new listeners on audio podcast platforms, because our numbers have spiked and we appreciate all you guys. So Berto, let them know what they could do if they don't find us on their favorite audio podcast platform.
Join a Discord. If you don't find us on your preferred podcast listening platform, harass us on the Discord until we place the podcast on your preferred podcast listening platform. But until then, we're on all the major ones: Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Podbean, all the good ones.
Yep.
That's
And we stream on multiple platforms. We got YouTube, Twitch, Kick. You know, so make sure
Rumble.
you guys, Rumble. Make sure you guys check us out on all of them. And that's what we got. Mass and Dumb Podcast. To check us out on all social media as well. And thank you guys.
Aside. Da, 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 da.